The storm's wrath, a chronicle of natural disasters. Hurricane Helene, a powerful Category 4 storm, slammed into Florida's northwestern coast. The storm brought 140-mile-per-hour winds and torrential rain. It made landfall near Perry, Florida, late on a Thursday night. Millions in Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas lost power. Thousands of flights were canceled or delayed. The storm surge caused seawater to surge inland. This was devastating for coastal areas. Homes and businesses were flooded. As Helene moved inland, it weakened, but it continued to dump heavy rain. This caused flash floods in Georgia, Atlanta, and the Carolinas. The storm left a path of destruction in its wake. The storm's impact was far-reaching. It left behind a trail of destruction that will take years to fully recover from. The storm's power was evident in the damage it caused. The recovery process would be long and difficult. The aftermath of Hurricane Helene was devastating. Homes and businesses were reduced to rubble. Trees were ripped from the ground. Streets were transformed into rivers. The storm's power was evident. The destruction stretched from Florida to Georgia and beyond. The death toll continued to rise in the days following the storm. At least 44 people died. Many drowned in the floodwaters. Others were killed by falling trees, electrocution, and other storm-related incidents. The economic impact of Hurricane Helene was significant. The storm caused billions of dollars in damage. Homes, businesses, and infrastructure were destroyed. The storm's impact on agriculture was also a major concern. Crops were destroyed and livestock were lost. As the storm passed, rescue efforts intensified. First responders worked tirelessly. They wanted to reach those stranded by floodwaters. They also provided aid to those in need. The Coast Guard, National Guard, and other agencies deployed helicopters, boats, and high-water vehicles to navigate flooded streets and reach those in need of assistance. Hospitals were strained. They were already dealing with the pandemic. They faced additional challenges. These included power outages, flooding, and an influx of patients injured during the storm. Medical professionals worked tirelessly. They provided care under extremely difficult conditions. They often relied on generators for power and limited supplies. The storm's impact extended beyond immediate damage. Communities grappled with power outages, disrupted communication networks, and shortages of essential supplies like food, water, and gasoline. Long lines formed at gas stations and grocery stores. This underscored the challenges faced by those impacted by the storm. Picking up the pieces. In the wake of the storm, people began to pick up the pieces. Stories of loss and resilience emerged. Brianna Gagne and her family in Holmes Beach, Florida, were forced to swim out of their home as seawater surged in. They lost everything. In Tampa Bay, Vicki Hudson surveyed the damage to her business. Complete devastation, she said. The floodwaters had receded. They left behind a trail of debris. Rebuilding her livelihood would be a long and arduous process. These stories of loss and resilience were echoed across the region. Individuals, families, and communities began the long and difficult process of rebuilding their lives. Rebuilding lives and communities. As the floodwaters receded, the full extent of the damage became clear. The task of recovery was daunting. It required a massive coordinated effort. Government agencies, relief organizations, and individuals all worked together. The initial focus was on providing immediate assistance. People needed food, water, shelter, and medical care. The long-term recovery effort would involve rebuilding damaged infrastructure. Power and communication networks needed to be restored. Businesses and homeowners needed help to get back on their feet. The psychological toll of the storm should not be underestimated. Many survivors were dealing with trauma. They had lost their homes, belongings, and sense of security. Providing mental health support services to those impacted by the storm was crucial. The spirit of resilience. Hurricane Helene was a powerful and destructive storm. It brought devastation to the southeastern United States. The storm's impact was felt far and wide. Despite the challenges, the affected communities showed resilience. They came together to support each other. They began the long process of rebuilding their lives and their communities. The recovery process would be long and difficult, but the human spirit was strong. People were determined to overcome the challenges they faced. The storm may have destroyed their homes and businesses, but it could not break their spirit.